Hello. That's really weird.
I don't even know what my addicted.
What type of van do your parents live in? Is it a luxury one? No. I piss in a Nutella bucket and shit in a bag. Same as my daughter.
Good morning. I thought I'd do a Q&A because I get a lot of questions and you guys want to know the answers. And since I'm here with these two, if you don't know, they're my parents. I asked on Instagram and also on Patreon and also a little bit on my last video as well if you guys have any questions. So we've got some questions and we're just gonna answer those. Actually, currently we're in a campsite and it's his birthday today, so...
49.
Minus
old.
10. 39 today.
That's still old.
No, it's not. There'll be people in that screen screaming at you saying 39's old.
So I don't know all the questions and they don't know all the questions. So you can kind of get more of a...
Snap
raw
reaction.
snap reaction. Raw response. Where do we want to start? Patreon questions?
Patreon questions. One's for you.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh wait, we're drinking Blonde de Saint-Tropez beer, by the way. It's amazing.
We have a question from one of your top Patreons, Ian Thompson.
I have a Patreon, by the way, if you guys want to join. Links in my description. Okay, sorry, carry on.
Thank you.
Sorry.
So, the question is there a long-term strategy or are you just going from day to day?
Day to day, really. I have many plans, many projects, many ideas, many everything, but yeah, it's just kind of day to day at the moment.
Is loneliness the worst enemy of van life?
No.
That's a pretty good question.
That is a good question. No, I'd say it's more the stability aspect of it. It's hard to make friends and it's hard to establish yourself somewhere when you're constantly moving around. So that's more the problem than loneliness, because when I'm on my own, I don't feel lonely as such, because I'm used to being alone and I like being alone. But it is that kind of feeling of not being connected to anywhere as such, because whilst you are connected to all the places you go to, you never like truly are there. You're never truly connected. So I'd say that that's probably the biggest enemy of van life. Is just never really, you're always just a little bit unsettled everywhere, I'd say. I don't like being with the wrong people. Like most of the time, that's why I struggle to make kind of connections on the road, is that the majority of the time I don't want to be with someone for the sake of being with someone. I want to be with someone because like we gel really well and improve each other's lives and, you know, improve each other and bring out the best in each other. And that's really hard to find when you're only in a place for like a certain amount of time. You can only really make acquaintances, which is, that's what I struggle with a bit. What is she doing?
Cleaning herself.
She's a disgusting animal.
You're being
Look,
very
you're out of
active
breath
this
now, aren't
afternoon.
you?
You're very
Okay, so
That was really, really deep.
I think I'll take your
That was
beer away
special.
from you.
That came from a special place.
Pros and cons of having dogs in the van. I know that that's quite a common question.
It's great because it makes it feel more like a home. They are great companions. They get to explore and see lots of different kind of landscapes. They go to the sea,
Yeah.
they go to the mountains, they go to forests, they go to
Yeah.
towns.
It's a great life for dogs.
Yeah.
Lots of lovely stuff to eat and find on the street.
Yeah,
Oh,
they're very good
so
at
much.
foraging for unsavoury items.
You'll definitely find out that dogs are disgusting when you are.
And if you're someone who shits in nature and doesn't dig a hole first,
Shame on you.
Shame on
screw
you.
you. I have PTSD from watching that one. I can't even describe it. Literally, it's just awful.
But no, they're great. And the cons
Nasty.
are, I guess,
Nasty.
we worry if we leave them for a little while. Sometimes
Yeah.
they have to be left for an hour, maybe
Yeah.
2 hours. But
Yeah.
we do have an app that we watch them on.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably the biggest con. There aren't really many others.
Yeah, and then sometimes limited with where you can go. I mean,
Yeah.
not that we pay too much attention.
No,
Like,
to be
No,
fair.
we're a little bit
They're
loose
quite
on.
well. They're quite free over here. To be fair,
They're very, very-
where you can actually take your dogs.
yeah, France is really good for dogs, by the way. I know quite a few people ask. You can pretty much take them anywhere.
So this one is from Ian Griffin,
Yes.
top patron.
Thanks, Ian.
I noticed you're very fashionable. Where do you
Thank
get all your great outfits from, and how do you store them when you're constantly living on the road? Finding the dividing line between
The flow.
glamour and van life must be very difficult.
It is difficult.
So please explain.
Okay, so I store all my clothes in the back. I've got a little. I managed to hook them on the metal slats on my bed, so I've like hooked them all up in the garage of my van, and they all kind of chill there. I've got a little shoe rack, which I'm very happy with. Also, my overhead cupboard is also clothes. Yeah, when I started van life, I ended up being very unfashionable for a very long amount of time, and I can't do it again. Clothes are very important to me. I love clothes. I love the expression of clothing. I love the art behind clothing, and I don't know, I think clothes make you feel amazing. That's why I love it here. My style. Everything, every shop screams me. That's why I love it here. A question from JM on Patreon. Can you imagine spending the rest of your lives on the move? Perhaps a world tour?
No,
Straightforward
Why
and
not?
to the point.
because
Okay.
I don't want to.
You wanna
Conflict
go
of
see the
interest.
world?
Other places are beautiful, no doubt.
I mean, other than
I'd like to go to Costa Rica.
Costa Rica.
But I think that's quite interesting because you want to travel a lot, and
Yeah.
Mum wants to stay more in the south, like I do. You really love it here. You love France. I think that's really interesting because you're more of a. You like to be grounded in a place a bit
Mhm.
more. You're not too worried about traveling. You like it, but it's
Yeah,
not,
yeah, I like it, but
You're
it's-
more of a wanting to stay in the same place,
Mm.
kind of get out. You want to go everywhere, don't you?
Yeah.
You're
I'd
more
be
adventurous.
non-stop travelling if it were me. There's so many flipping awesome places to visit in Europe and further afield. You know, Italy, Croatia,
I want to go to Greece and Croatia.
Greece,
Yeah.
all these places. I'd actually quite like to go to Turkey as well, but that's a little bit more difficult with the dogs.
When we started out van life, we initially saw kind of tiny houses and tiny homes. That's how we got into van life essentially, because we
That's
couldn't.
exactly what it is.
Yeah, we couldn't, buy a tiny house and the land and everything. We weren't sure where we wanted to go or whatever. So
I didn't have the money for it.
yeah, we didn't have the money for it. So vans were the option. I think it's quite funny because as much as traveling's amazing, when I first thought about living in a van, I genuinely just loved the idea that you could have a tiny space and everything in it that you could ever need, and you can like drive around and your house is in the back. I think that's really cool. It's hard not having a base. It's hard constantly not knowing where you're going to be, because there's a really nice freedom to that, especially when you start van life. It's exciting. It's like, oh, where am I going to stay every night?
Exciting.
Like, this is
definitely.
amazing. But after a year of like every night, like every few nights, moving, it gets to that point where it's like,
It makes you feel a bit rubbish because you know it's
It
your
does.
choice. It's completely your choice that you're doing that.
yeah, exactly.
And you're not appreciating the situation you're in. However,
Yeah.
that's not to say that it isn't wearing. She's just left the building.
She's fucked off, is she?
I'll get it. Retrieved.
So, I think for us, if we stayed in one place for a month, we'd be more than happy to do that. I
Yeah.
suppose it's more van living than van life.
Yeah, living
Van
life,
living.
More
Van
van,
living.
van living
Yeah,
than
having
van life.
just being able to
There-
have somewhere to call home with it. But sometimes I feel like with van life there's a sort of pressure to travel. Like it's got a very specific
Kind of blueprint to
blueprint,
what
of van
yeah.
life is. I'd stay here forever because it's the only place that I feel, to be honest, at home. I feel so good here, and I never want to leave. It's been about, you know, getting to live the life you want to live, but can't necessarily live, but in a way that you can live it. So we can live
we're
here.
Doing the best we can with what we've got in the
Yeah.
situation that we're in.
Being able to have something that's just awesome. I think that's kind of what van life movement stands for, and tiny living and off-grid living, in my opinion.
Live how you,
is just the freedom to live how you want to live, and not having someone tell you how to live.
Someone wanted to know what you wanted to do, or kind of like what you would have dreamt of doing when you were at school. Prior to van life, before the whole everything happened.
Yeah, I wanted to do loads of different things. To be honest, I've always been a bit of a free spirit, as my sixth form tutor described me as. I used to be obsessed with natural disaster and like tornadoes. I wanted to be a storm chaser. After I watched Twister, the film, that's all I wanted to do. But ironically, I really liked it because they were travelling in like a convoy in motorhomes and stuff, and I just thought that was so cool. So maybe van life, you know, planted a seed then. Naval architect,
designing yachts.
Yeah, because I fell in love with yachts. Again, that's like different living. I don't know, it's just wired in me.
And we're fully behind whatever you chose to do.
Yeah,
you had a place at university.
Yeah,
at Bath. You were going to go and do.
I had all the places I wanted.
You knew the degree you wanted to do, and then
Then everything happened, and I was like, "Yo, life's too short."
Everything happened, grandmother and COVID.
And also, for those asking, yes, I do earn a full-time, like, YouTube's my job. I earn enough money to stay on the road. So, and whatever.
Okay, here you go. Emmy is a bit of a diva who doesn't take herself too seriously and pokes fun at herself.
Very true.
This makes her videos really fun to watch. Was she always like this? Or is this new for YouTube?
I've always had quite a lot of personality.
Yeah, you've always been quite, quietly confident. You were not someone to stand at the front at school.
No.
You certainly weren't.
I can be bothered.
You were always quietly confident. You liked to do really well at school, and you did do well, extremely well at school.
You weren't bullied, and you weren't the bully, which is the bit I like.
I just like to be extravagant in my own ways. I like to dress well, and I don't know, I like to have fun. I can just be a little flamboyant. I don't know why. I don't know where it came from.
It's really lucky that door is so wide, isn't it? So make sure you get your head through the door.
No, I'm just saying the truth. We should all just have a big energy about ourselves. We should all love ourselves.
Are there other van lifers you follow? And who is your favourite?
To be honest, I love Susie Cruz. If you guys have ever watched any other van life channels, she doesn't post anymore, I don't think, but I used to love her. We have a similar energy. I love that. Also, Hannah Lee Duggan. I thought her videos were good. The van life ones, I liked watching those. Eamon and Beck, of course, they were the OGs, right? When we were discovering tiny living and everything, so they're always just like
Trent and Ali.
Yeah, they were like Max and Lee. They were like all the OGs. Like,
are we concerned about Ami's safety?
Yes, every day. Every day. I'm a mum.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, but
however, she does have a good head on her shoulders, and I know she will always do the best she can to keep herself safe. But that doesn't stop the worry.
Be honest. I mean, even if you're living in a house, you still worry about your kids.
I would still be worried. I'd still be worried about her going.
It doesn't matter if she's doing this.
I worried about her when she was driving her car, when she was taking the train to college. It would be not normal to not worry.
Yeah.
Would your parents ever consider starting their own YouTube channel? And that is from Sherry on Patreon. We have a channel. It has all of 4 subscribers and no videos.
We haven't posted anything.
I know. We haven't, but we've been and ahhing about it for the last 6 months.
So watch this space.
We'll put a link in the description with our YouTube channel. There's no videos on it, but if you want to go and subscribe, if we do ever post anything, you'll be the first to know.
3 things you'd change about your van.
3 things.
Off the top of your head, quick fire.
I'd like a different shower. I'd like more water storage, and a better fridge. a bigger fridge. My fridge is
It
no.
sucks.
It's too small. Fridge is too small. Oh, and a mixer tap in my shower because I've only got one thing because I
That's
couldn't be
4
bothered
things.
to put a tap. Okay, a mixer tap in my shower. I didn't put one in because I was too lazy. There, I said it. And now I regret it.
Charlotte,
What?
3 things you don't like about our van. Do you
The
would
fridge.
change?
Yeah, the fridge.
Again.
The
I want a
fridge. Always
bigger
the
fridge. A bit more storage. And a garden for the dogs.
Oh, for fuck's sake. There's a new garden every time we move to a new location.
We should be able to let them off the lead.
To let, yeah, to be able to just let them go outside and go and do whatever they want to do.
That, to be honest, with Yorkies, you know, a lot of dogs you can let them off the lead and that's fine going through the countryside or whatever. These though, you let them off the lead. There's 3 of them. They go zoom.
Only
Bye.
and only
And
Lily
only
listens.
this one comes back.
It's like
Quick
3
fire.
questions.
Okay, quick fire question.
Okay,
Your
Hannah.
favourite song?
My favourite song at the moment is it's by Sylvie Vartan. I love it. If I could live in a song, it'd be that song, and it's called L'amour c'est comme une cigarette.
Yours, yeah. You've got 3 candles. What do you want?
5.
Well, you're not 50.
Ooh, see, you're
Yeah.
only 30.
Well, Ellie's not 50, but she still had 5.
Because I'm a queen. Here you go.
No, you're not. The Queen's dead.
Queen is dead. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope our conversation somewhat made sense or was helpful in some way. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next Friday. Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.